Alright, what up, y'all? It's Metaphor. Representing everyone's human nine first. Gonna do a video on the new moon and all the things that you can do with the new moon and the possibilities and the purpose for it. So the purpose of the new moon is to bring new fulfillment before the full moon accumulates. So you got 2 weeks whenever the new moon begins, which will be in Capricorn, and with that being a Capricorn, it's a cardinal earth sign, and that'll be initiating and creating new ways of thinking and practicality, right, and creating logic. So we'll have we'll be finding new ways to find fulfillment in our emotional space of practicality. So the moon is at a fall in Scorpio, and then it's also at the, what do you call that? At work in Capricorn. So yeah, it's at work. Because whenever you're initiating and creating a new way of, practicality and logistics and thinking hard about the best way to go about something and the best way to structure, you're not exactly in your emotions and feeling that all the way through. It's more of like, okay, how do we find the solution to this? Which is opposite to the Cancer, which is initiating and creating new ways of feeling and emotions and having, being moody kind of thing. And the Capricorn isn't very moody. Capricorn is, on one wavelength and they're trying to achieve one thing, and once the thing is achieved, okay, then we can achieve the next thing. We're going to find a new way to achieve that, a better way each and every time. But that individual has to be in charge. So it's like a feeling of being in charge this time around. So this is what I'm breaking down with the new moon in Capricorn we're currently having. But in general, the new moon, like I say, is going to create a new fulfillment emotionally. So for example, if it was in Aries, it would be initiating and creating new ways of feeling and seeing. With the Aries, like I say, it burns through reality, I've said in previous videos, because it's a fire sign. So it's creating like a new vision for, how you feel. And if you're always initiating and creating, it tends to be an interesting thing. Like the Aries, the Libra, and the Capricorn, are all squared up or opposite to the Cancer, and the Cancer is at home and with the moon. So it's an interesting thing whenever you really think about those placements. So, Sam, drop the shades for y'all. But one thing that is different from the new moon compared to the half moon or even the full moon, the half moon, you can kind of still do a bit of these things if you haven't all the way caught up to them whenever the moon was new and you haven't started to plan those things out already and planted those seeds. You want to do all your new moon rituals and say like, okay, this is something new that I'm going to do, and initiate and create a new feeling for my practicality and logistics of what I got structured. So whenever, this is for that Capricorn I'm talking about that I just spoke on, but like in general, whenever you're speaking about the new moon, you want to kind of do more of an offensive thing, beyond the, be more outward with things and be more out and do things. Compared to the full moon, you kind of want to be on more of a defensive kind of spell, so to speak. So and then the half moon, you're kind of like analyzing and making discernment, like, is it a bit too late to that? Should I do more of defense, or do I still have time to be on the offensive? And it kind of, it depends on where the moon is, placed. So it's like, you don't want to actually say like, okay, this sign is bad, this, that, and the third. You want to say which planet and which vibration is affecting this sign. So yeah. And like I said in the previous video, the moon is like where you're previously at soul tie wise and where your previous life is. So it's like you got to think about what you accumulated from the previous new moon, from the last month, and things like that. And that's a way to think about it. Like, okay, this is where I'm coming from, whatever I accumulated in the last house, so to speak, and then I'm accumulating new in this area of life that I got going on now. So yeah, that's about it for the new moon ritual breakdown. So I'm going to say with the Capricorn, it's a thing that, you know, you want to make sure you're on your job, make sure you have everything planned out. It's a structural based thing. It's not having anything to do with your visions, which is fire. It's having nothing to do with your water, which is emotions. So you just gotta stick to the script and, you know, plan things out and, you know, stay to the plan, and that'll, you know, do well with that Capricorn new moon coming up. You know, the moon is in Sagittarius is finishing up, and did a little video on that, and then we're gonna do video on the moon in Capricorn and then the moon through the houses as well, you know, as the following up videos. So, pretty much like final thoughts on this moon in Capricorn. I'm going to say, like I say, don't be too in your emotions, stick to the script, and if you are in a circumstance like, oh, okay, I actually have to express myself emotionally, make sure that you think first, and you're actually like, okay, will this work for me? Is this useful? That'll be the best thing for you. So whenever you're rocking with this Capricorn energy. So much love and holla back at me.